Hi everyone, I'm Dario, the project leader for the Youth Solutions program of SDSN Youth. I will be running this Youth Solutions Hub webinar today. I just have a few technical notes before we start. I will be when giving the floor to the speakers, assign the role of presenters. So that they can eventually share their screen in case they have their own slides for their presentations. Otherwise, they can feel free to share their webcam if they're planning to use it, or they can also feel free to speak if they're joining, just speak if they're joining by phone. In general, I will try to limit my introduction to 5 minutes. Then we will have a short presentation from the manager of the Youth Solutions Hub, Inna Mesheva. Unfortunately, Inna could not join us in person today, but she was able to record a full presentation for us. So I will show you the slides and you will hear her speaking about the features of the Youth Solutions Hub. Then we will move to a section in which different speakers representing different types of organizations and individuals who are represented in the Youth Solutions Hub will tell us more about what their experience has been so far, or what their expectations are from joining the hub, and whether they have any suggestion for us in terms of new features to add, what are the key features that they would like to see added, what are the key experiences and opportunities that they would like to have access to, but also what are they contributing to the hub. Especially this applies to the experts who are represented there and the partner organizations that would let us know what their role, what they see the role as going forward within the hub. And this is, of course, quite important because we have thought of this webinar as both an additional introduction of the Youth Solutions Hub after this slow progressive rollout that we've had over the past 3 months. 3 or 4 months, where we have slowly onboarded first our own cohort of innovators, then slowly opening it up to external applications as well. But also, so it's in a way it's an additional introduction for everyone who still hasn't joined, and this is why also it will be made available online after the live session. But it will also be a way of having a first feedback from those who have already joined. And that's really important for us because, as Inna will also say in her presentation, we really want to keep improving the hub, not just as we expand it in terms of users, and thus we try to reach a critical mass of experts and innovators and organizations represented in it. But we would also like to keep refining the features, adding new opportunities and adding new interesting opportunities. So I invite you, of course, when you're not speaking, to mute yourself. But at the same time, after the rounds of presentations, we will have a few more minutes for questions. So feel free at that point to either write your question in the chat, or to ask for the opportunity to speak, and we will be happy to answer your question. Or if you have the question for a specific speaker, feel free to also do that. Our speakers today, I already mentioned Inna, but we will have Lauren Barredo, who's the head of partnerships for SDSN, and we have worked together quite a bit for the creation of the hub and for all our other solutions-oriented activities. So she will speak a bit about the role of SDSN in this and how we envision our continued work on the program going forward. We will have a group of representatives of, let's say, the innovator side. Particular, they are the winners of a special prize that we gave at the Geneva Challenge 2018. and they represent one of the projects that are now featured on the hub. And they will speak a little bit about the project, but also try to give us their perspective on what a platform like this should have going forward. In particular, this is Blandine, Kimberly, and David from the University of Toronto and the University of Geneva. Then we will have Antoinette Marie from World Vision Canada. She works in impact investment with World Vision. She represents the ideal, let's say, partner organization within the hub, and she will also explain her own perspective into what they can provide and what are some best practices in terms of what the innovators can do when approaching an expert or partner organization within the platform. And then we will have Christian Mortelliti, who represents the UN Economic and Social Commission for the Asia Pacific region. He's also a partner. He's also representing thus a partner organization of the hub, and he will speak a bit about their own opportunities, the type of resources that they're making available through the hub and through their other initiatives. And so this can represent an interesting opportunity for every innovator who wants to have more toolkits and materials to make use of as part of his or her experience on the hub. I would start first with the presentation from Inna. Again, it will be a recorded presentation, unfortunately, but I'm sure that you will enjoy it nevertheless. And after this, we'll give the word to Blandine, Kimberly, and David. And up to you to decide who wants to present, if you want to present separately. But let's start with the presentation from Inna then.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining us at today's webinar, which focuses on the SDSN Youth Solutions Hub. The Youth Solutions Hub mobilizes opportunities for youth-led SDG solutions. So during my presentation today, I will walk you briefly through some of the key functionalities of our platform, as well as the vision and mission behind building the Youth Solutions Hub. So just before starting the substantive part of the presentation, just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Inna Amasheva, and in addition to being the project lead for the SDSN Youth Solutions Hub, I hold a PhD in International Climate Change Law and Policy, which I obtained from the University of Hong Kong last year. And I have a background in innovation and entrepreneurship, which focuses on building and scaling green tech and fintech ecosystems throughout Europe and Asia. In addition to my role at SDSN Youth, I actually have a full-time position at Arabesque Asset Management, which focuses on sustainable investments powered by big data analytics and machine learning. So that's actually my full-time role, which I'm doing in addition to my work with SDSN Youth. So back to the topic of today's webinar. Here's a brief platform overview of the Youth Solutions Hub. So what we do at the Youth Solutions Hub is we have created an online community building platform that has an intuitive user experience and design, including customization tools, which are intended to drive greater collaboration between our members, as well as engagement opportunities and synergies between the different members. So this is a brief overview of the platform itself. And in terms of the platform vision, the Youth Solutions Hub was created to connect young SDG-focused entrepreneurs who are working to achieve the global sustainable development agenda with key resources, toolkits, funding opportunities, and mentors from industry, businesses, and academia. So our goal is actually to equip young SDG innovators with the right tools, skill set, and resources that would then enhance their capacity and enable them to scale their sustainability-focused projects and solutions. In creating the hub, we have provided a space for mentors and mentees to connect both individually and in groups, and to then have important discussions focusing on different project areas and topics that are related to SDG-related entrepreneurship. The platform also allows our members to share different types of content, including videos, blogs, articles, as well as events and funding opportunities in a systematic and user-friendly way. Our platform also features a library of different resources, including information on different SDG-focused events, grants, funding opportunities, as well as startup-focused resources and toolkits. In terms of the actual platform features, the content is systematized according to a number of different content categories. So what we have on the Youth Solutions Hub is we have different topics along which the content is structured, and then we also have members being categorized in different buckets, let's say, depending on whether they're a young innovator or whether they are an SDG mentor or expert. We also have a discovery feature that allows users to actually connect with the members and events which are nearest to them in terms of geographic proximity. As I mentioned as well before, we have events which are featured on the platform that allow our users to also connect and meet offline, which is a very important goal of our SDG entrepreneurship building efforts, because as we all know, it's all well and good to have online interaction, but in order to achieve real scale, we also need to enable offline related opportunities for our members to meet and interact. In addition to the above, the Youth Solutions Hub features different groups along which our members can structure themselves. So members are also allowed to be part of different groups focusing on different topic areas, and then engage in a more targeted way with each other as well as with their mentors. We have a variety of other resources available in addition to the resources I already mentioned, and among the key new developments of the platform will be the introduction of dedicated online courses. So stay tuned in this regard to hear more about our new developments. This is just a brief overview of how the platform looks. So as you can see, this is a snapshot of our discovery feature, which shows that depending on where in the world you are based, you will be shown the events as well as the members that are nearest to you in terms of geographic location. So like this, you can see the content in a more targeted way. In addition to that, we have a top post and feature post that then allow our members to look at the content that we have curated for them and that we have thought it's most relevant for that particular topic or for that particular moment in time during the SDG innovation cycle or during the year. So we are continuously innovating and improving the content that is currently on the platform with new updates being created on an ongoing basis. Here's an overview of our topics. So the topics within the platform have been categorized both within different SDG focused categories, as you can see here, as well as specific startup and entrepreneurship focused content categories. So then our users are able to review content that is of greatest interest to them. So they can review both SDG thematic expertise and tools, as well as entrepreneurship-specific key resources that our innovators can make use of. So what I recommend is, if you're already a user, that you play around with these different topic categories, and you can select also which topics in particular you'd like to follow. So like this, you are shown the most targeted content that is currently on the platform. So another point that I like to touch upon is what makes us different compared to existing tools that are available out there. As I'm sure you're all aware, there are actually plenty of different resources available online and also offline that focus on enhancing innovation among young entrepreneurs as well as social impact entrepreneurship. However, what we found in developing the Youth Solutions Hub is that there's currently no single platform out there that provides a one-stop shop solution that connects all the dots basically and provides an intuitive and user-friendly way where young SDG innovators can connect to the resources as well as the human capital that would then allow them to scale their solutions in an easier way. So that's why we wanted to actually create the Youth Solutions Hub, building on all the other initiatives of SDSN Youth, among which the Youth Solutions Report and our Investment Readiness Program that have been flagship initiatives of SDSN Youth. So through the SDSN Youth Solutions Hub, we wanted to create this one-stop shop solution that would connect all these resources and opportunities in an intuitive and very user-friendly way. So maybe you're interested to join us on this incredible journey, and we would very much welcome any new members that focus on implementing the Sustainable Development Goals through entrepreneurship. So if you're a young innovator yourself, or even if you're a mentor that would like to help our community of young innovators, we would very much like to hear from you. The sign-up process is actually really easy. So what you need to do is you need to go to youthsolutionshub.org, where you can take a look at our landing page. You can review what the hub is all about one more time. And by clicking on the request to join button, you will be then taken to a brief sign-up form where you just fill in your profile. You tell us a little bit more about yourself. You tell us a little bit more about the status of whether you're a young innovator or a mentor, and then you basically get referred to our review panel, who reviews your request to join and eventually approves it if you are corresponding to the guidelines that we have in terms of entering the Youth Solutions Hub community, and then you are ready to go. So we would very much look forward to having you on board and grow our community together and get stronger together in order to achieve the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda.
So this was Inna's presentation. I cannot, of course, thank her in person because, as I was saying, unfortunately she couldn't join. But there will be space for questions about the presentations and the features towards the end of this webinar, because we will also have another team member, Fernanda, who will share a few more thoughts about what are the next steps for us. And so then you will be able to build upon that with your own questions. I would now ask Blandine, David, and or Kimberly to give a presentation about their project, but also about their experience and expectations on the hub. Let me know who of you is slated to present and whether I should also share your screen let you share your screen.
Hi, so today with Kimberly we will present our project. Unfortunately, David couldn't attend the talk today, but we will also present the project on his behalf. So we don't have anything to share.
Okay, but feel free if you want to, of course, share your webcam. Otherwise, you can do without. Just let me know what you prefer.
I'm trying to share the webcam. It should work quickly. Now it should work, I guess.
Okay.
So today we want to present our project, which is called Enhanced Sustainable Bioconcrete Project. We are registered on the platform as innovators and also as the winners of the SDSN Special Prize at the 2018 Geneva Challenge. So in our group, David is the researcher of the group. He's currently completing his PhD, so to help to strengthen the science behind our proposal. And Kimberly and I, we are in charge of the business side. So we want to find investors and forming business models and implementing the actual project. And so to talk more about the project, the objective is to develop a concrete material that uses reject brine from water desalination instead of drinking water, and that is also mixed with recycled waste material and with bacteria, which are capable of precipitating calcium carbonate. So this results in a strong construction material that can sequester CO2 and also self-heal when cracked and completely bypass the need for brine treatment and disposal. So by doing so, our project has the potential to minimize damages on the environment by limiting contaminated brine rejects in the marine environment and also by reducing greenhouse gas emission. It's also a project that would decrease the amount of potable water used for cement production. This allows more fresh water available for other purposes. It also creates a stronger and more sustainable building structure, which is necessary for economic development. And so, as a consequence, our project has the potential to address multiple SDGs goals, such as clean water and sanitation, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, and many other goals. And now in our project, we created a strong theoretical project, but we still need to do more scientific research. For example, we want to establish the best bioconcrete mixes that are required, and David is working on that at the moment. We also want to implement a pilot project, potentially in Cape Town in South Africa, because it is a city that suffers from a severe crisis, a severe water crisis right now. And now we are at the first stage of this implementation process, and we are trying to design a business models. And now I will let Kim talk about what we expect from the hub.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Kimberly, a part of the SDSN Youth Special Prize from the Geneva Challenge. And basically, the next steps that we're expecting from the hub is just basically like how we can like seek advice and help and like kind of mentorship as we're trying to go through the stages of our projects of implementation, as well as how we can have like some sort of mentorship program so of people who have completed these successful projects in the past and how we can be connected to them, as well as like so any opportunities to be a part of any other environmental nonprofit organizations that are doing the similar work that we're doing, so we can just have more guidance. And then as well as also like kind of maybe like tools and workshops of how to like start creating a business model would be greatly beneficial for us. And then, yeah, lastly, just more funding opportunities for our project and who we can kind of get more connected with. So we're just looking more for like the kind of the connection networking of the hub as well aspect. And then things to improve on the hub. We're still relatively new. We're still trying to figure out like exactly what information, and like we're kind of using this webinar to kind of learn more how we can use the hub to further our project.
Super. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kimberly and Blandine. And we definitely look forward to try and answer your questions both through the presentations of the rest of the webinar and at the end through the question side. I would just maybe emphasize that it is quite good to know that you are new to the hub and sort of trying to see how it develops, because this is also our perspective, just really trying to grow it now at a higher rate at a higher rate, and this is definitely one of the opportunities which we want to use to have some feedback and try to understand how we can do better. Maybe I would give now the floor to Lauren, who will be able to perhaps say something about the SDSN angle here, and what do they think that the hub brings to their own work, and what by contrast the association of the project with SDSN would add in terms of expertise, in terms of toolkits, in terms of resources that both the innovators and experts can use. Lauren.
Thanks, Dario. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Shall I make you share your screen?
I don't have slides. I'm just going to talk for just a couple minutes too. I'm going to try to keep it brief so that we can spend more time in the discussion. But it's great to be here today as part of this conversation. I think there are a lot of nice synergies between the hub and SDSN's overall mission. I know one of the projects of SDSN Youth that I support is the Overall Solutions Program. And in the past few years, we've really sort of noticed that there are three main challenges that we think to young people with innovative ideas or entrepreneurs trying to scale up their solutions. And that's funding, skills, and networking. And I think the hub is a really strong possible solution on a number of those things. But speaking from the SDSN global perspective, I think our ability to sort of feed into these two bottlenecks really focuses more on the skills and the networking side of things. I think maybe most of you are aware, but the SDSN is a network of, at this point, over 900 universities and research institutes in about 130 different countries. And we work on all different SDGs. And I think one of the things that we could provide to the hub is trying to link up some of the topical experts with youth who might need some more skills or training or some technical expertise to try to solve their solution. I'm thinking about things like climate change, agriculture, waste, what's maybe some of the technical knowledge that you need, and what could academia sort of bring to the table to help close some gaps there. So that's one thing that I think we could work on. And then there are a number of business schools in the network as well. So I think in addition to sort of the substantive training on the technical aspects of your solution, there's also an opportunity to provide more training and skills on some of the things. The idea of designing a new business model or a business plan was brought up by the previous presenter. Things like that, I think maybe we could leverage some of the business schools that are part of the network to try to close gaps like that. I do think one of the things to think about there is I think there's a difference between mentorship and training. I think the SDSN is well poised to provide sort of what I would consider more on the training side. Mentorship, though, I think is a little bit different. I think with mentorship, it sort of implies more that you're working with somebody who has sort of been where you as a young innovator are now and has sort of overcome challenges and bottlenecks to be successful. And I'm not sure that academia, can necessarily answer all of those questions. I think we might want some more private sector participants at the table, maybe people from the World Business Council on Sustainable Development or the UN Global Compact. Some of those kinds of leaders to try to help shepherd these great ideas and great social businesses a little bit farther along in the process, somebody with some more entrepreneurial expertise. I will talk briefly as well about courses. I think that's another place where the SDSN can contribute. We have the SDG Academy, which at this point offers over 30 free online courses on a number of different topics, agriculture, climate change, etc. They try to replicate a master's program in an online setting, so they're all about 12 weeks. Each week you have about an hour of video lecture, you have accompanying readings and assignments, and again on sort of these different topics. So I think that's maybe another way too that we can contribute sort of on your time schedule, on your calendar. You can kind of go at your own pace. So I'm hoping that that's another good thing that we can contribute to the hub that would be useful. And I will confess that maybe I will stop here. I haven't given too much thought yet, I would say, to the questions about new features or key experiences and opportunities that we could maybe import into the hub to improve the overall experience. But I look forward to maybe having a discussion with some of the other people on the phone and maybe addressing some of those questions there.
Super. Thank you, Lauren. I will maybe now give the floor to Antoinette from World Vision Canada to provide her own perspective here. And I really appreciated Lauren's focus already in terms of mentioning how we would definitely like to involve more actors from the World Business Council for Sustainable Development to the UN Global Compact and others. And in this case, the presence of World Vision is quite interesting, of course, because it really speaks to this interest that we have in having organizations that try to support not just social entrepreneurship, but more in general, the work of young innovators for the SDGs. Antoinette.
Yes, hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Antoinette. I work for World Vision Canada on the impact investing team. I'll go through this pretty quickly. It's really something that I just pulled together. But World Vision Canada is an international organization. We've been commonly known for child sponsorship. We are active in almost above 100 countries across the world, and our programs last for 10 to 15 years. We believe that it takes a community to build an economy and to lift the most vulnerable children out of poverty. Impact investing is something that was developed in the Canadian division initially, and essentially it is the mandate to produce social impact dually alongside creating a financial return through business. Some of the photos that you see there are examples of some of the enterprises that we've already funded. So what World Vision does from an impact investing perspective is we not only offer financial support, but we also offer business development, training, and mentorship so that businesses can succeed in a developing context. So why impact investing and why is World Vision in this space? Essentially, the orange boxes that you can see is what's available for philanthropy. And there is a lot of competition in that limited space, while as if we access financial markets, that's a much larger pocket that can drive social change. And so we're only looking to tap into a larger network of funding so that we can drive more change globally. And I want to go through a quick overview of some of the programs that we offer. This one I'll go through quickly, but this is our financial product called the Small and Growing Business Fund. Essentially, these are businesses in developing contexts that are too large for traditional microfinance, which will offer grants of between $100 and maybe $1,000. But they're also too small for institutional investments of $1 million. And so this gap is referred to as the missing middle for small and medium growing enterprises. We address this gap by directly funding these businesses in developing contexts. So we operate, for example, in Ghana, and we do this through our microfinance partner called Vision Fund. What that means for investors is that we ask for 80% of the investment to, 80% of the funds to be an unsecured investment, which is held for 3 years and has a 3% return, and the rest 20% donation so that it can support the business development for the entrepreneurs in their respective contexts. The Social Venture Fund is a bit more applicable to the Youth Solutions Hub. It's really interesting. It's a venture fund that offers a flexible financing for entrepreneurs. I think I have a slide here on the criteria. If not, I'll go into it. But essentially, it's for innovators that are about 1 year into their development. They're looking for some funding that's beyond the seed stage, looking more at a growth stage investment with a partner like World Vision that can provide them local support and networks to grow their businesses. We invest in businesses along the SDGs number 2, 3, and 8, but we also have SDG number 5, gender, that's across the entire venture fund. So here's just an overview of the investment stage. So the venture fund focuses on the acceleration stage. We make investments in between the 100 to 250K parameter. And then finally is our social innovation challenge. So I'll flip back to the previous slide. Sorry about that. But that's our seed stage. These are idea phase businesses. They definitely don't have a proof of concept yet, and it's grant funding. The venture fund is actually an investment, and it's a revenue share agreement. It's very flexible. World Vision takes on a lot of the risk going into these more fragile contexts. So we offer very flexible funding, longer terms. For the Innovation Challenge, we really want to support ideas, and we want to give room for ideation and implementation. And so this is a grants fund with a 1-year commitment from World Vision to help implement solutions. So what we've done is we're actually currently running the challenge in the US, in Canada, and in the Philippines. We identified challenges locally, so this year is focused on the Philippines. And then we asked for our global community to present solutions. This is a little bit of a breakdown of our process. The very interesting component, what separates World Vision's challenge from all other challenges, is that we actually deploy our local teams to provide feedback and iteration into the process and the applications. And so I've actually just returned from the Philippines. We took the challenge has now closed, by the way. But we took the applications and we went to the field, we spoke with community members, and we took a human-centered design approach to provide feedback on the proposed solutions. And we're going to be going into a 2-month mentorship process whereby we will provide the feedback that was collected in the field to Canadian and US entrepreneurs and help them develop their business models in preparation for the final pitch competition, which will be hosted, I believe, in the US in Seattle and in Toronto for the Canadian counterpart. At the end of this process, we offer $25K in seed funding. So that's a little bit of an overview of what we do. On the hub, of course, we're looking for innovators to apply to the challenge. We became part of the hub, I believe, in maybe September. To communicate about our challenge, the applications were open to any Canadian team or US team. But beyond that, it's also an interesting place for us to connect with experts who our challenge in the US is on water, our challenge in Canada is on plastic waste. And so if there were experts that had a particular focus within those sectors, or even better, a focus within the Philippines or the global ocean plastic problem, for the example of the waste challenge, providing mentorship to some of our applicants that have been shortlisted would be undeniably a useful resource for World Vision and for the Philippines dually. But in terms of suggestions for the hub, I just want to pull up my document here. Yeah, so matching innovators with partners that are offering funding, of course, would be useful, and I could see how you've categorized that on the interface of the platform. But even a more thoughtful approach, like for our venture fund, we're constantly looking for applications in pipeline. Provided that the hub has our criteria, it would be great for innovators to actually be forwarded to our page so that they can get in touch with us directly. But also experts with innovators for our field teams. Like I mentioned, we're running our social innovation challenge in the Philippines. Those entrepreneurs are going to have questions, they're going to need support. And if they can be paired with local experts or even global experts, that would be great to expand the network beyond just what World Vision can offer, but what can the global community offer to tackling some of these issues. And then finally, from an organizational perspective, industry partners, representatives of things like Unilever, Procter & Gamble, that also have a stake in these challenges, and how could we co-develop solutions together that can benefit both the local communities that are faced with these challenges, but also the international organizations and nonprofit and for-profit partners that are also involved with these challenges and issues. So I think I've covered most of it. Have I missed anything?
No, I don't think so. I think this was quite a good overview of the work that you are doing and the opportunities, and also the feedback is really, really important. And maybe if Fernanda will later say some few words about the what are some of the ideas going forward, we can build upon that as well. We definitely appreciate the feedback, Antoinette. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
And now I would maybe give the floor to Christian. I know that he's been incredibly patient to wait for his turn. He's probably the one who's located on the farthest on the east of the world at the moment. So Christian, please go ahead.
So yeah, thank you, Dario. So yeah, as my name is Christian Mortaliti, and I am representing the Environment and Development Division of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, otherwise known as ESCAP. But specifically, I am representing the SDG Help Desk project of the Environment and Development Division. So yeah, I would like to start by first, thanking Dario again for inviting a member of our division to speak. And as a member of the Youth Solutions Hub myself, I can tell you firsthand that I very much like the platform, and I'm very excited to see it grow. So a little bit about the SDG Help Desk. It is essentially an aggregator of sustainable development goal knowledge and resources that are provided to us by over 130 partners from the UN system and beyond. And it acts as a gateway, so to speak, linking users to a variety of, say, e-learning courses, publications, data portals, services, toolboxes, and much more. So I can actually show you the website very quickly. So here's the SDG Help Desk homepage, and you can see at the top here are various what we call service lines, which is where all the material is housed. For example, we have under our e-learning courses numerous of the SDG Academy courses that were mentioned previously. And I just posted actually updated this morning, the World Vision event that we advertise the SDG Help Desk. So yeah, that's just a very brief overview of the platform. So let me get this slide back up. There we go. Sorry, one moment. Thank you. So, as it exists, I think there is a high degree of synergy between the work of the SDG Help Desk, and SDSN Youth, which is why we, embarked on a partnership with SDSN Youth. And at present, we feature SDSN Youth's Youth Solutions Report 2018 on the SDG Help Desk's e-library. And we are looking forward to, future collaborations. And I think, for example, that there is a lot of cross-platform work that we can do between the Youth Solutions Hub and our similar SDG community practice. So, speaking on what the SDG Help Desk can contribute to, the Youth Solutions Hub, I see its function as a provider of technical assistance to come into play in that capacity. So, we can share any variety of relevant resources that are housed on the SDG Help Desk, such as the, the Youth Policy Toolbox and Youth Empowerment thematic area, amongst others. We can also invite numerous, professionals at ESCAP to join the hub who may have some expertise that would be very relevant to the goals of the hub. And in addition, we can share any relevant ESCAP projects or initiatives that pertain to the goals of the hub as well. And as I mentioned before, as a member of the hub myself, my own interests are threefold. One, for starters, I would like to contribute by directing people to any relevant information and resources that are housed on the SDG Help Desk or that might come across in my work. Second, I'm interested very much in connecting with people who have the potential to contribute across various platforms. And last, and I think this point is very important, As a young professional myself, I'm very much interested in seeking advice and opportunities that can, help guide me to positively impacting the world. And I think this is a great initiative to help me with that. And so in terms of my feedback, as I mentioned before, our team also hosts a similar community, Mighty Networks, the SDG community of this one. And it's still very much a learning process for us hosting this platform. It's still only been about 4 or 3 months. But I can say, though, I find the user operability and layout of these platforms to be actually very, very good for facilitating engagement. I mean, there's a number of features that I think can be improved, but I've been in contact with the admin of Mighty Networks and stuff, and a lot of these features are actually in their work plan. So these hubs are only going to be getting better from here on out. But the biggest challenge, though, that we've encountered is, we have a lot of members in our platform, about 400 or so, from 90 different countries, representing a variety of backgrounds. But it's challenging to actually get people to engage with the platform. But actually are, a number of strategies that we've been compiling and will be enacting soon. And we hope to, be able to report positively on that very soon. But in general, it's a fantastic platform. And I'm very happy that you invited, a member of our division to come speak for this, because it's, as I mentioned, this is a fantastic platform, and I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing it grow. So thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity to speak. I think my time has about run its course. So yes, thank you. I hope my screen is no longer visible.
Yeah, wait a second. No, it's not anymore.
Okay.
Super.
All right, thank you.
No, thanks again, Christian. Maybe I just have a little question for you. And
yes.
That would be, you also have, it relates to the role of experts that you mentioned, because you also have, as part of your help desk, also an extensive list of institutions and research institutions and organizations
that's correct.
Might definitely be of interest for some of the innovators. So maybe if you can say just a word on that.
Yeah. So as you mentioned, there's we have numerous research and training institutes housed on the SDG help desk. So these are institutes and institutions that we can share with other people, and also we have contacts within these organizations that we can direct as well to the Youth Solutions Hub. I mean, it is also very feasible that we could file a. I mean, is it possible at all to create a subgroup on the Youth Solutions Hub dedicated to said institutes, that maybe we can link these directly to the Youth Solutions Hub?
Yeah, we definitely think it's a good idea. We can definitely take it upon us as soon as the webinar is over. Thanks for the suggestion.
Right.
Super. Okay. So I would just very briefly like to give the floor to my colleague Fernanda, in case she wants to add a few more things on what Inna said about the structure of the hub and what the next steps are for us, and then we can give a few minutes for questions to the audience.
Okay, great. Thanks, Dario. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, first to join this webinar. I think it's really a good opportunity for solving some questions and receiving some very good feedback. So thanks, Antoniette, and also Christian, because I have seen that you have been very active in the platform, and I think that's what we need right now. So I just, before we maybe open the floor for other questions, just giving an overview of where we stand right now. We started in December, and we started with inviting 50 innovators for this platform, right? And now we have more than 160 innovators that join us. And I think we are learning by doing. That's what we are doing now. We are discovering our demands, and then trying to um, discover the best way to communicate the funding opportunities, the events, and how to disseminate the stories of each innovator over there. And then in the end, like all of this is to support the implementation of the projects and scale them up. So I'm very happy with the feedback that we received. And about this is where we are now. About the future, we are planning especially to focus on the courses. So Lauren already talked a little bit about this. So thanks, Lauren. And the idea is try to improve. If you went to the platform right now, you're gonna see that there is like a topic that is written courses, and then you will be able to join the SDG Academy courses and then add your lessons over there. And then you can share your progress with all your other innovators and people that are also taking this course. And the idea for the future is having like one for each topic that we discuss in the platform. We have one course over there too, so that then we can have like some capacity building for the innovators. But let's talk about funding. Funding opportunities is really important, and I think this is the hot topic in the platform. Right now, we are posting every day funding opportunities, and we are tagging the groups that might be interested on this. And I think Antoinette, she did like a very good suggestion about matching innovators with the donors, with the funding sources, and that's what we are uh, trying to do. I'm just checking here. And we need to tag more the groups, and so the opportunities go straight to the innovators that are following that tag. And as Christian mentioned, this is still on working for the platform for Mighty Networks, and we have to figure out how to do it. So right now what we do is posting the opportunities with a clear deadline, the clear group that are target, and who can apply for that funding. Not only for the funding opportunity, but also the events are the same. As Ina explained, you can see and track the events by geographical location, what our events are near you. And I think this is very useful. So then you have the calendar of events also tagged by issue. And I think maybe we can talk more now about other suggestions and feedbacks that you might have. One challenge for the future that I think it's worth to mention, it's also we are planning to monitor the progress of the innovators that are in the platform, so we can see which ones are developing and implementing their solutions, which ones got the funding, how people are engaged in the platform during the time. And as we just started, we are looking forward to do this monitoring over the next over this year, and then have more clear feedback on where to work. So yeah, I maybe Dario, if anyone would like to have more specific questions, maybe about mentorship, the mentorship program, maybe Kanika also can help me to answer. So I think the floor is open for questions.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, Fernanda. I just maybe wanted to add just one thing to this, which is, as Fernanda correctly said, our emphasis has always been more on the solutions and on trying to support the quality solutions. It's not necessarily about showcasing individuals and the expertise of individuals, but it's always about how actually the expertise of the individuals, of the young innovators, results in solutions that deserve to be supported. So one thing that we're also exploring in terms of the hub features going forward is actually to allow a page for the solutions, to which then several individuals who are on the hub contributing to the same solution can participate. And so in that sense, we will have every individual who's working on a particular solutions who's on the hub, but they also would have a specific page for the solution. So it will represent a space for them to talk more about their solution, to also to communicate with each other in a more private setting, in a space where they only have access to. So really facilitating a space of collaboration between the individual innovators also on the hub. We're working on some of these things going forward. But I will open for questions. We went a bit over time, but happy to take a few questions. And then again, hopefully, if there are some more questions about the mentoring process, Kanika or Fernanda could answer as well. Floor open for questions. Okay, maybe Kanika, do you want to add something just to break the ice a little bit?
Sure. Just to talk about the mentor-mentee relations, since there was a question about it as well. So we have wonderful mentors already on board, and there are more coming up across media, business, and academia. And I would actually encourage and strongly encourage all innovators to start reaching out to the mentees, mentors, and actually seek guidance. As the way we thought about it was that we wanted the reach out to be more demand organic based, and we want you to start and initiate conversations with experts directly. The experts are will be telling you unique ways of how to advance professionally or personally in your businesses and the solutions that you're trying to develop over time. And being an expert to our innovators is also another unique way of sharing those tangible differences that the experts have already made in the current, in scaling solutions or in currently meeting the Agenda 2030. And that's pretty much it. We would encourage all innovators to start reaching out to the amazing mentors that we have on board. And the experts will allocate like 1 hour per month at least to each innovator or solution, and will try to help you advance and foster a development, help you in your entrepreneurial journey that way.
Thank you, Kanika. Thank you so much for this. Questions?
I have seen that in the chat there are some topics that has been mentioned here. So maybe I don't know. Christian is saying about the courses. So about the courses, like very briefly, like if we have in our platform a topic that you can click on there, and then you go through the SDG Academy. The SDG Academy today has many diverse range of courses, and the Age of Sustainable Development is about to start is one of them, and then you can sign up through the platform. Is it still ongoing? We have a team working on the courses, on the developing of the course, so wait for a little bit more news on the next weeks.
Yes, we are absolutely looking forward to that. We are almost ready, and it would be actually a nice way of having separate courses on the topics on the hub. Could definitely be a good opportunity for everyone to be brought up to speed on specific on the specific issues, and it will be a way also for a way to make sure that the solutions, that every solution that's in the hub is aligned with sort of the same framework of the SDGs that everyone is trying to use. I maybe just something very quickly on what Mercy was saying on the need to tap more experts. Kanika was, of course, answering to that as well. But I just wanted to add that yes, the plan is really to do that, and particularly tapping if on our own end, we're tapping, of course, on our partners and on the SDSN network of experts that are represented within their within the member institutions of SDSN. We have started trying to involve them more, and we are conducting more outreach, as much outreach as possible within the regional and national networks to onboard as many as we can. And of course, we understand that would contribute decisively to the success of the hub going forward. Any other question?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Mercy.
Oh, hi. Thank you for your input. Thank you, Fernanda. My question is on the courses. Okay. Let's say I've joined SD6, which is on water, where my interest lies on water. My question is there a way that for those people that have joined, let's say they want to join SD6, SD3, whatever your interest is in, is there a way that if we find ourselves in that course, there is an expert to answer to our questions? Let's say I have a project on water and I need a WASH expert to answer some issues that I'm dealing with. Could we have such kind of experts?
Yeah, hi, Mercy. Nice to meet you. I have been seeing you in the platform. That's a very good question. The idea of the courses, probably we will not have like one course for each SDG. This is 17 SDGs. The idea is have like 10 courses and then 10 topics that we can discuss. So probably for water issues, we will have a course related with this topic. But besides, I'm just taking a look here on the SDG Academy course, and they have a course about water. The name is Water, Addressing the Global Crisis, for example. And then you can take to the platform also. And there, of course, there will be a forum where you can discuss with experts from SDG Academy that are organizing this course. But besides the course, what I wanted to talk to you, I don't know if you've heard, but in the platform there are the groups, and then the groups, they are divided by topics. And there is one about water and sanitation. Maybe you are already there. Yeah.
Yes.
And then okay, good, perfect. Because then also it's a good way to share some experience with innovators, right? Not with maybe high-level experts, but it can also be a topic to go for the mentorship dynamics, as Kanika was telling. So it's a little bit more clear now.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining.
Super. Any other question? There's a question for Thomas that I'm looking at the moment in the chat. Yes, I think so Thomas is asking whether an organization that has a profile on the hub, or an individual, I guess, who's also represented on the hub as representative of an organization, link an innovator up with a chapter of the same organization which operates maybe in the same geographical region where the innovator is operating. And I think the answer is absolutely yes. Thomas made an example of World Vision Canada, but I think that in this case, this absolutely is part of, let's say, the best practices and the guidelines of how to use the hub. Really feeling free to reach out about these kind of useful information that an innovator might get from the experts and organizations that are represented. I think, Thomas, that would be a wonderful idea. Of course, if there was an organization that you want to link up to, feel free to do so. And I'm sure that World Vision Canada could try to help you, of course. and maybe Antoinette, I don't know if you want to say something, but Thomas was making, I'm not sure if Thomas was making an example on purpose or if it's a broader thing. If it's a more general thing, I can tell absolutely yes. And maybe Antoinette can also say something about World Vision specifically.
Sure. Hi, Thomas. Thank you. Thank you for the shout out. It depends on in what way the mentorship would take shape and also what the innovation is. If it's working through our innovation challenge, that wouldn't work because we're focusing on the Philippines. But if it's through something like our venture fund, then we can definitely link up. Even if it's not through the venture fund, depending on the nature of the commitment, we could speak to the Kenya office, depending. If it's a specific ask for World Vision, I would say contact one of us directly or chat. I'm sure we can be contacted through the hub, and then we can go from there, which is, I think, one of the greatest benefits of the hub is it allows innovators to connect with organizations like World Vision in a more informal manner, just allowing conversation to start. And if it's not us that can help link up, perhaps we can connect you with somebody else who can. Water harvesting. Yeah, but like I said, I would need to see more. I'd need to understand what you're looking for, what kind of mentorship is required, if there's a specific question that needs to be answered. But link up to me directly through the hub, and we can get that conversation started.
Super, perfect. Yes, any other question? Maybe I will allow one more so that we're running over just for 10 minutes, let's say. Okay, so it seems that we're done. Thank you so much. I will, Lauren, maybe you want to say something.
Sorry, I was getting ready to say thank you.
Super. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope that this webinar has really managed to answer some of your questions, and we it was a way we tried to host it on GoToMeeting, which is not. Let me, by the way, maybe open my my screen again just to say bye to everyone. I think it's we tried to do this on GoToMeeting, even though it's a bit smaller than say YouTube or Facebook Live, because we wanted the conversation to be a bit more informal and also more specific. We could get to interact better with one another, which is, I guess, crucial to have some feedback that then can inform us in improving the hub and in providing opportunities to the innovators who are featured in it. But as I was saying at the beginning of the call, we will also share this recording afterwards with the entire audience of the hub, and also openly online, so that we can raise the interest in even more people, hopefully, to join. Thank you again to everyone. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for our speakers. Thanks to our speakers. Thanks to everyone who intervened. And we look forward to seeing you on the hub.